new world order. A new world order. A new world order.
And sticking to the theme of you need to blow stuff up, stuff needs to fall apart before you can put it back together. We have this article here from Reuters. Reuters headline: U.S. buys radiation sickness drug as part of long-standing program. Sneaky way to put it. It's a long-standing program, but then why are they doing actions now? The U.S. government this week bought $290 million in supplies of a drug designed to treat blood cell injuries following radiological and nuclear emergencies as part of what it said were long-standing efforts to prepare for potential health impacts from threats to national security. A lot of words to say gene therapy for post-nuke. That's what it sounds like to me. I don't know if that's what it is technically. It says blood cell treatment, so not necessarily gene therapy. But the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services purchased the drug Nplate from Amgen Inc. When asked whether the purchase announced Tuesday was linked to tensions with Russia following its invasion of Ukraine, the HHS spokesperson said it was part of ongoing efforts to prepare for a wide range of threats, including chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear, and emerging infectious diseases. Wow. Okay. All right. So all part of the big thing, huh? With funds from the Project BioShield Act, a law passed in 2004, HHS supports development of diagnostics, vaccines, and treatments to respond to potential health impacts of such threats. When development is successful, HHS buys the product for national preparedness. Oh, there's just a bunch of preppers. They're doing the right thing. They're prepping. Concerns about potential use of nuclear weapons has risen after Russian President Vladimir blah, 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 blah. Yes, we know. But Putin's going to hit the button. He's losing his mind. He's crazy. He's losing the war. He's going to push that button. And of course, Joe Biden said Thursday about Putin's nuclear war or nuclear weapon in Ukraine has brought the world closer to Armageddon. Right, Joe? Armageddon on the way.
Armageddon's on the way.
There it is. Radiation sickness occurs when a person's entire body is exposed to a high dose of penetrating radiation, reaching internal organs in a matter of seconds. Symptoms include impaired blood clotting, which can lead to uncontrolled and life-threatening bleeding. Amgen will maintain the supply in vendor-managed inventory, HHS says. Oh, good. Amgen just being the U.S. military-industrial complex supply holder. Yeah, good. Government can't afford to, buy more storage space, so might as well just pay them to do it for them. So, yeah, this story, of course, it does not bode well in terms of what they're planning to do to us. And, in my mind, I was thinking about this, and it was 2001, right? The Two Towers, everybody knows about what happened in New York. And that was sort of that impact event, right? There was an impact event. There were definitely health issues that followed. People that were there that breathed in all the stuff. And, there's a big after effect for people that were there helping and trying to save lives and everything else. And so it became a health emergency for those people that were there. And not just the people that suffered from the actual towers going down and the plane allegedly running into the buildings and everything else, but just the after effects of the people that survived. It was bad. So they have the impact event and then the health issue afterwards. But such a small population, right? So they need to test out a wider sample set of, hey, we need more of a sample size of how this would work in terms of a health crisis. Of course, everybody knows what happened. 2020, not 20 years since 9/11. Everything locks down. Then the vaccine becomes an available thing, and it's a big health crisis worldwide. And so, when you're talking about a nuke, excuse me, let me clear my throat. All right, when you're talking about a nuke, a potential nuke. And, of course, there are conversations about are nukes even real and whatever. I'm pretty sure we have things that go boom real loud and real big that can kill people. To the degree that it is claimed with nuclear weapons, Some people have seen it. Some people have felt it, but I'm just saying, you never know. But we do have tools and things that go boom real loud and real big, and that can kill people. Again, how big, who knows? But in any case, I think the big goal here with this conversation is, because surface level, it's like, oh yeah, of course, we're just preparing. And that's been the trend. We see New York have these sort of PSA announcements about what to do when a nuclear attack might happen. And I think there were other countries, maybe Canada. I can't remember. We've reported on a couple different places around the world who are starting to see that propaganda. Like, oh, well, we must prepare. It's like the Cold War all over again. Oh, we need to go under a desk if we hear the sirens go off or whatever, even though that's not going to necessarily do anything. But in my opinion, just my opinion, whatever they're planning to do next must be, if we are to think like a lizard person, which I know we don't do to be the lizard person, we just do to understand the enemy. They would definitely want something that is a mixture of both, right? You have the event, the impact event, nuke, right? And then you have the health crisis afterward. Worldwide, though, not just regionally or anything else, just worldwide, something happens where everybody's got to lock down, everyone's got to take the drugs, and if you don't, then you're as good as having leprosy in the Old Testament. You're shunned. And so I when I hear stuff like this, it just tells me that, yeah, this is the long play, and I don't want that to happen. I don't want this to come true. Of course, I hope it doesn't. I hope they fail at this plan for, they're getting ready to blame Putin for the nuke and all that stuff. It's all very familiar to the, people that have been around for a while, but at some point they might try to pull it off. It was the same thing with the pandemic. It was like the bird flu, H1N1, and every single time it kind of petered out, right? It was like, oh, and then it peters out, and then peters out. And then COVID comes along, boom. They have all the information they need. They know the methodology. They can pull the trigger and really get to work on building back better. So yeah, that's my only takeaway from this, is that it's part of the agenda. It's probably part of the long play, but it's also a way to continue to instigate fear and certain policy, certain power that, these politicians can have to maintain control over the masses. All that is still, of course, in play. So there you go. There's that story. And that leads us right into politics real quick, because part of it is the macro game, the macro politics, the macro geopolitics of, these people are trying to, take over, Russia's trying to take over the US and Ukraine and blah, 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 blah.